What are you cooking today, Miss Martha? I'm making cream of chicken soup. I've got to start off first. I've got a pound of bacon here, thick slice. I'm going to cut it into I'm going to dice it up, and I'm going to put it in my big pot over there on the stove, and I'm going to brown it off, okay? Then while that's in the pan, I'm going to go ahead and chop up. I've got peppers, onions, celery, and I got my garlic is pre-chopped. But I'm going to dice up my vegetables here. So when the bacon has become crispy, I will add these to the pot, and they will stay in there until the onions become clear. Okay. At that point in time, I will go ahead and I will add in my chicken, which is prep work off camera. I'm going to have already rinsed this and patted it dry, and I have chopped this up into like little 1-inch cubes because I'm going to put this in the pot as well because I want it to brown a little bit. Lots of times when you're making chicken soup, you can just put in the thawed out fresh chicken breast in there, and it will kind of fall apart. It'll fall off the bone if you're using bone. I'm using skinless, boneless, because I've already got the fat from the bacon. I didn't want the fat from the chicken as well. So when you're just put in chicken that way, it's going to fall apart. It's going to become kind of stringy, and which is great for a lot of chicken soups that you're eating. But for the cream of chicken soup, I want to try to conserve the chicken into little cubes because I want some texture in the chicken soup. This recipe. So I will add the chicken in next, and I'll flip that around in the pot with all the other seasoning vegetables until that's starting to brown a little bit. I'm not trying to fry it. I'm not trying to cook it thoroughly. I'm just trying to get a little browning on the edge of it and start rendering it, some of the juices out of it at that point in time. Then I will add in 2 sticks of margarine, and I will add in, which I will have off camera, my other prep work, is I will dice up the carrots, mushrooms, and little petite potatoes. They'll go in the pot. Okay, at that point in time, I'll add in the liquid to the soup, which is going to be, because it's a cream soup, not a tomato-based soup, will be coconut milk, low sodium chicken stock. That will go into the pot. I have a couple canned vegetables over here, but these I want to use my corn, my peas, and my butter beans. I want to use as the frozen vegetables because sometimes when you put that canned vegetables in, they'll just disintegrate. When you're cooking a soup that's going to sit over there, it's going to be simmering for an hour and a half, and everything just turns to mush. I don't want that. Like I said, I want to keep a little texture in this soup today. So I'm using frozen corn, peas, and beans, but my cannellini beans and my kidney beans, they're canned, and my chilies, they're canned. So what does Miss Martha do with canned goods? I drain off the stuff and throw away the salty water that's in them. So I'm going to drain those, and that just leaves my seasoning that's going to go into it. Obviously, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I got a little chicken bouillon, a little turmeric. Okay, basil leaves, but I have ground thyme, ground sage. To give it the little lusciousness to the creaminess, I've got a little bit of Worcestershire and a little bit of kitchen bouquet. The last ingredients to go in are, Kroger's has a really nice Queso Blanco, but you could have got any brand, and little packs of Stroganoff seasoning. It'll be a delicious cream of chicken soup. I'll get started on it. I've got to dice everything and wash, dice, get all my little prep work done, and drain off the canned goods. And I will meet you over at the stew pot in just a few minutes. Go get a cup of coffee. And thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, all my prep work is done. My bacon, just the bacon, nothing else. I'm in the pot right now. Let that fry off. And then we'll add in, these are it's peppers, onions, celery, and garlic will go in next. They'll cook down until the onions go clear. These are my potatoes, carrots, and mushrooms, and 2 sticks of margarine. This will go in after the onions go clear until the mushrooms start getting a little tender. At that point, the chicken goes in. The reason there's a stage to the process is everything's got to cook down a little bit so they all fit into one pot. So we'll finish frying off the bacon. We'll work through the stages of adding our other ingredients, and then we'll go along the last ingredients to go in. I'll pick back up with you in a few minutes. Okay, add in onions, peppers, celery, garlic. The bacon's still in the pan. I wasn't trying to fry it off as crispy as it was if you were going to be, have a chicken with breakfast. I'm just trying to render the fat out of it. I just gotta go for a little while till the onions go clear. Going in next are the potatoes, mushroom, carrots, and margarine. Stir this around till the margarine melts, then we'll add the chicken. Okay, the chicken goes in next. Wash my hands real quick. Oh, we're just gonna keep stirring everything till it all comes together. You'll notice when Miss Martha goes through the seasoning with you here, something's missing that she usually puts in her soups. You could already guess what it is, isn't it? Because you heard me not, or you did not hear me say it, or you heard me not say it. When we're going through the items over there, there's no tomatoes in here, so I'm not putting sugar in it. I always put sugar when I've got tomatoes in my soup or my spaghetti sauce or my whatever dish I'm cooking, because it's for the acid of the tomatoes. I've got enough sweetness in the coconut milk, and there's sweetness in the corn, and there's sweetness in the queso dip. I don't have to add any sugar. And we're not going to add much salt. I'm going to do it when I get down to the seasoning. I'm going to add what I think is appropriate amount, and it's going to have to cook for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll do a little seasoning check and see if we have to add any more salt. You would do the same at your house when you're recreating and cooking the recipe yourself, because you may want more salt in your dish, but we try to cook with as little salt as possible. I'll save on time with the video. Next thing we'll be going in will be the chicken broth and the coconut milk, but not yet. Okay, I'm not trying to cook the chicken all the way. I'm just going to show you how I get a little bit of cook on it. Then I can move on to the next items. I've been on high heat this whole time. So once I add the broth and the milk, I'm going to turn it down to the simmer. So let's go ahead and add our low sodium chicken broth. One, two, I'll tell you I got 4 chihuahuas and they were going crazy in here earlier when I had the bacon in the pot. And I'm trying to think, the youngest one is getting ready to turn 2 in March. I don't believe I have fried bacon in there. I've cooked turkey bacon before, but I don't believe, and I have used some bacon and wrapped it around some asparagus for a special dinner for my husband, but I haven't really fried bacon in the house. But they were like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I miss it." But I just had my health checkup. My cholesterol was great. My blood pressure was great. So I'm gonna have a little bacon in my soup today. You could omit it if you're watching your cholesterol. All right. Let's see if we can get this coconut milk in here. It's going to be a plop because it's got that little solid on top. You got to get that out. There we go. And the rest of it looks like water. Doesn't even look like milk. That's one. I'll save time on the video. Got 3 more to do. All right. I just want you to see how pretty it looks. We'll stir all this together until the solids from the coconut milk start to dissolve, and then we'll move on adding our next ingredients. I tried to use as much fresh vegetables as I could. I do have the beans, or actually canned vegetables, and chilies are canned, but I've got frozen, and frozen corn, frozen lima beans, frozen green peas, because they will hold up better than if you used a can of those items. They just would disintegrate in the cook. It's a pretty soup. You can see, can't you? The light on it? Yeah, you can see. Beautiful soup. Alright. These are frozen vegetables. Get all that in there. Groceries are so expensive, I don't want to miss a single bean going in there. There we go. We'll get this stirred in, then we'll move to the canned items. Okay, we're going to turn our heat down to medium. I won't go all the way to simmer until I have the spice, the last of the ingredients in it. I'm reminding you that we're making a cream of chicken soup today. I used to make this all the time. My husband's father had throat cancer, and he couldn't eat anything because if you cook it like you're supposed to, which I can't leave the camera paused for the whole 2 hours it takes for everything to get tender, but it's very flavorful and it's not spicy, because it's just got the natural flavors of the items that are in it. But he used to love this, and he would eat it, get some nourishment in it so he could make it through battle his cancer. All right, let's add I've got Canellini beans, 2 cans red kidney beans, 2 cans green chilies, and those are all drained, so I'm going to add those in now. How beautiful that looks. Wish I had smell-o-vision. Here we go with our seasoning. Worcestershire, 1 teaspoon. Kitchen bouquet, 1 teaspoon. Salt, 2 teaspoons. Only because there are a lot of raw vegetables in there. Chicken bouillon, 2 teaspoons. Nice heaping teaspoons. Okay. Garlic powder, 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3. Black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon. Well, you know, I used to do it that way because they didn't want too spicy for Dad, or my father-in-law, to have when he was going through throat cancer. But my husband loves black pepper, so we're going to put the other 1/2 of a teaspoon. We're going to do a whole teaspoon of black pepper in there for Bob. Okay, turmeric, 1 teaspoon. Onion powder, 1 teaspoon. I don't need as much onion powder because I got a bunch of real onions in there. Basil leaves, 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. Ground thyme, because I don't want the little pieces in my teeth, and I don't want them getting hung in his throat. Let's see if I can shake it out. Ground thyme, 1 teaspoon. Ground sage, 1 teaspoon. Okay. All right. Let's get that stirred in well. It's such a big pot of soup now. You do have to keep your eye on it. Once you get it turned down to simmer, you got to come back every 2 to 10 minutes while you walk through the house. Stir it a little bit so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. How beautiful that looks. Yeah, man. The last of our seasoning. I've got 4 packs of the Stroganoff season mix. This is basically just like using cornstarch, just to thicken it up a little bit, because it's going to be a cream of chicken soup. Get the corner there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Get that out of the way. And here's my last little ingredient. You can use any jar or any brand of it, but it's Queso Blanco. Queso Blanco dip. 2 little containers. Just to help give it that creamy appeal. 1, 2. That's everything's in here now. I will check it later and say you may want to add more salt. I'm pretty sure I'm good on what I got, the way my family likes to have it. All right. It's just a matter now of letting it simmer away and cook. In about 20 minutes, we'll come back and we'll do a seasoning check on it. And then we'll let it cook for another hour. I'll let you hang in there until the seasoning check, but I'm not gonna make you have to sit here and wait till the whole thing is ready. I'll let my thumbnail, when I post it on YouTube, when I type out the ingredient proportions and the recipe for you, I'll let the thumbnail be a picture of the completed soup. I bet somebody's trying to reach me about an extended car warranty. Who do you think that is calling Miss Martha? Okay, she's a beautiful soup. Clean up, wash up the dishes that I've used, to clean up, put the lids back on my spices, and we'll come back and do a season check in about 20 minutes. Cream of chicken soup. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's do a little seasoning check. Don't get the chicken yet, just get some broth. Don't burn your mouth. That's perfect. But, you know, I won't fault you if you want to add a little bit more salt. I wish you wouldn't, though. Well, if you're younger than me, let's get you on the right path now. Omit the bacon. And don't add any extra salt. Sometimes you just gotta have some bacon, though. All right, it's at the point now that I'm just gonna let it simmer away. All the goodness in here, and thicken up a little bit more for more like a cream of chicken soup. Beautiful soup. Delicious soup. Healthy soup. Miss Martha hopes you'll take the recipe to heart. Make it yourself one chilly evening. Thank you for watching. Full recipe will be on my YouTube cooking channel, and God bless.